Hey guys, Ezra here and welcome back to another Ezra review. And on today's video, I want to review the newest movie called The Naked Gun. Now, this is a legacy sequel to the original trilogy of Naked Gun starring Leslienielsen, and this newest version is starring Liam Neeson, and he's playing Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., which is the son of Frank Drebin. And yeah, I heard about this movie because of the trailer and people are talking about it, but I'm someone who never watched the original trilogy until the first trailer for this movie dropped, and people having a conversation whether or not this will be like live up to the legacy of the original trilogy. Yeah, that's why I decided to watch the original trilogy, and I think it was an amazing movie. I think Leslie Nielsen are funny in that movie, and I think the direction by David Zucker are absolutely amazing. And it's kind of it becomes a franchise where there is so many random jokes and weird jokes, but it kind of works because how funny it was. Sometimes it could get a bit much, but I overall I do enjoy the original trilogy. But so how does the newest movie? I would say this movie are good. They're having I was having a fun time watching the movie. And I think all that thanks to Liam Neeson commitment to the comedy bit. And we also stars Pamela Anderson, which is the love interest for his character. Like I think the relationship between the two of them are kind of familiar. If it was the original trilogy, it's essentially the same as like Frank Drebin and his girlfriend in that three movies. So there's definitely some familiarity there. But overall, I do enjoy their chemistry, but I do enjoy the jokes. And I would say that I think some of the characters in this movie are okay. Like the side characters are just okay, and I think they don't really stand out like like I said again in the original trilogy. You have like Frank Drebin, and then you have Ed the captain, and you have like Northberg, I think, which is played by O.J. Simpson. And again, those three does stand out. But I think on this movie, the side characters are just like meh, to be honest. They're kind of forgettable. I mean, except for Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson's character, I think they are, because those two are the main characters, right? The side characters, some of them are good, but some of them are just like forgettable, and I was just like, okay, like they kind of just there in the movie. So I don't know. I feel like this movie are a fun time for me, but I am indeed curious to see if this movie is going to hold up in the future, because I think from the original trilogy, even like watching it for the first time and like thinking back about them right now, like they have so much fun and so much energy in them, and I feel like it does hold up, until to this very very day. But I think for this newest movie, even though I didn't enjoy it, I don't think that all people will be enjoying it this movie, because I think some of the jokes are random and weird, which again, Naked Gun jokes are weird and sometimes really random. And again, that could work for some people, and that could like completely fall apart for some people. And there's some jokes in this movie that I think was like super random and super weird, that it did not work for me. But I can say that maybe some people who are a big fan of the original trilogy might work for them. So I don't know. Um, so yeah, that's all I can say about the comedy of this movie, is that some jokes land and some jokes are just like, okay, I know you're trying, but it doesn't really work. And I guess for the story itself, because again, if you see The Naked Gun, like yes, there is some storyline, but I think you immediately came to see the movie for the jokes. The jokes are fine, but I think the storyline in this movie are like is kind of over the top in a way. I was like, oh wow, I cannot believe the bad guys are planning to do this in the movie, because like again. The bad guys plans in this movie are so over the top, and I think in the previous trilogy, like you're sure some of the bad guys plan might be like weird or something like that, but I feel like it doesn't making me like, oh my god, this is so over the top and so unbelievable. Like it makes sense for me. Like they are committing crimes and Frank Drebin has to stop them. But I understand why they have to like update the bad guy's plan here, played by Danny Huston. Because like obviously it was a timely thing, because now it's about technology and how the modern world works, and it's about like Frank Drebin is like a very old characters, and how he is like interacting with this newer in our current world, I would say. And so I get what they're trying to say, but I feel like the bad guy's plan, it's so over the top. Like I'm not gonna reveal what it was. Maybe in the trailer they revealed that, and I don't know. But either way, I think it was like so out there, and I was like, this is just like mind-blowingly dumb. And I was like, kind of, I was like taken out by the plan, because it was just like so ridiculous and so unbelievable that I just don't find them to be, like dangerous or like again, I don't feel any stakes in the movie. And again, you're watching the Naked Gun, you don't necessarily feel the stakes. Bad guys for sure, but I think there is some moments in the original trilogy where I feel like when the bad guys did the bad guy stuff, in the movie, it kind of works, because I did feel kind of worried for Frank Drebin or like his girlfriend, in some capacity at least. And the plan actually, like, okay, that makes sense. It doesn't come across as super ridiculous. But this one is just like, wow, okay, you guys really went out there, and I think there's some jokes made by the villain's lackeys, that I don't think it works. Like the guy really tries to be funny with his like line delivery and stuff like that, and then Danny Huston is trying his best, with his performance, and he does have a good performance in the movie, but I feel like some of the jokes with his counter really fell flat for me. That I was like, okay, you're really trying to be funny here, but it doesn't really work for me. And your plan is just like, what the hell, man? This is just like, no, this is not it. But I mean, regardless, I still having a fun time watching this movie. Thanks to Liam Neeson because he is really committed for doing this movie. But I feel like this movie is kind of missing like the I don't know, like the fun energy for this movie, because I think I watched the original trilogy and I feel like I have this like this comedy energy by Leslienielsen, and then like the filmmaker themselves, like David Zucker, Jerry Zucker, and I think Jim Abrams, I think, which is like the trio that make the Naked Gun. And I think not involving these original creators are a huge fumble. At least like involve David Zucker, the original writers and directors, and apparently he was disappointed that he's not involved in this movie. So yeah, I think it's a huge fumble because I think if you involve the original creators, then I think this movie will be much more better. Even though again I still enjoy the movie, this is still a fun time, but I feel like the energy just wasn't really there, at least for me. Maybe other people might have a different opinions on that, and that's totally fine. Because I think people will enjoy this movie, but I don't think you guys will put this movie above like the Leslie Nelson original trilogy. Like that is impossible. That trilogy is like untouchable. It was came out at the right time in the 80s and the 90s, and it was so funny. Like the Leslie Nielsen performance are amazing, which rest in peace. And I found out that yeah, I really miss Leslie Nielsen, and I kind of wish that he was starring in this movie. Even though that I did love Liam Neeson in this movie, he does plays the son of Frank Drebin really well. Like again, he feels like the son of Frank Drebin because how stupid he was, in the movie. Because that's what Frank Drebin's character were. So again, for the most part, I don't think this is funny. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed the characters. I think Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, they do have a chemistry. I don't think it is. I don't think the chemistry is as well as Leslie Nielsen and his girlfriend in the original movie, played by Priscilla Presley, like Jane Drebin, right? Like again, Frank Drebin and Jane has a amazing chemistry in the original trilogy, but I think in this newest movie, the chemistry between Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson counter are okay. Like the chemistry is right, is there. I believe them as a couple, but I don't think it's as enjoyable as the original trilogy, at least in terms of the chemistry. And the bad guys' plan is way too over the top, and it kind of turns me off. Even though they do have some fun at how ridiculous his plan was, So yeah, either way, guys, that's my reviews for the Naked Gun. I think it's a good legacy sequel. I enjoy it. I enjoy some of the jokes and some of the weird scene about them. But I think this movie is not for everybody. I think if you guys are a big fan of Naked Guns, I am really, really curious to see how you guys will feel about this, because I think you guys might enjoy the movie, but I don't think you guys will put this movie above the original trilogy. That's just impossible, in my opinion. So, yeah, let me know, guys, in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the newest Naked Gun? Do you guys actually like the movie, or do you guys someone who did not like the movie? Then share your opinions in the comment section below. What is your favorite joke in the movie, and what do you guys think about the bad guys' plan in this movie? Are you guys someone who just like completely okay with their plan, or are you guys like me where I found that to be extremely ridiculous? So let me know your opinions about that in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure guys shoot the subscribe and like button, share the videos, the usual stuff, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. And again, I hope you guys enjoy this movie review, and I'll see you guys in the next one then. Bye.